Now, were you a fan of the books prior to being cast for the show?
I had done my first audition before I knew what these books were. You put out a lot of these tapes and I'd sent one off, and about 3-4 weeks later I heard back and they were like, oh, they want you to test for this. So immediately I called my local bookstore here in LA, Book Soup, and I was like, do you have this book? They're like, we've one copy left. So I ran around and I read that right before I tested. So I wasn't a fan until I'd read that one, but then I was afterwards.
So reading the books and kind of knowing the plot in the original storyline, were you surprised when you first got the scripts?
Well, I think season 1 we followed the book very closely. So, it's always really exciting when you get the new scripts, especially when you know more or less what's around the corner and there's certain things that you're really excited about coming to film. So you're always waiting to get those scripts and to see how they've mapped that out.
Right. A lot of TV fans were shocked at the season 2 finale. Were you shocked when you were reading the script for season 2?
I knew that they wanted to do a little bit of the 20th century as bookends to the season, so it wasn't a huge shock, but you never really know how the writers are going to let things play out. So it was really nice to have Brianna and Roger come in, and that moment of realization for Claire when she realizes, oh my goodness, Jamie's still alive, there's a possibility. It was nice to have that hope because, season 2, especially the second half, it was quite heavy. There's the whole build up to Culloden saying goodbye to Jamie. I mean, that was such a heartbreaking scene. It was nice at the end to then give the audience that little bit of hope.
Well, speaking of Brianna and Roger, if the storyline is anything like the books, we might see more of them. They might be a greater influence in season 3. Can you tell us a little bit about how it was working with them?
Well, they definitely make an appearance in season 3. It's so wonderful to work with Sophie. It's so wonderful to see that character become more fleshed out. When we saw her in season 2, their relationship is so fraught. I mean, Sophie and I really wanted to not just give this a one-dimensional, flavor where it's like, well, they don't get along, so they're at loggerheads, but we really wanted to work with the idea that because of the secrets that have been kept, there's a barrier that has built up between them. But there's so much love there. It's very complicated. Not only does she look so much like Jamie to Claire, she has so many of his characteristics, so it draws her in more. It also makes it hard for her to maybe love her as freely, but Brianna is her flesh and blood, and she's so proud of her, and she thinks she's such an incredible young woman, and so to be able to see them maybe work on their relationship and be able to cross some of those barriers, it's really a beautiful part of season 3.
What was the biggest takeaway from doing this show?
Oh God. This is a big show. Season 1 took us a year to film. Season 2 was 10 months. Season 3's been 10 months. I'd never done a TV show before. My longest job previous to this had been 5 weeks on a film. So I think it's really just given me a lot of confidence in my own abilities, and I think playing a character like Claire, it's such a positive influence on my life to be playing somebody who's so strong and positive in my job. So that's been the greatest gift that it's given me, aside from all the other fantastic things that have come along with this show, but just really, I guess, giving me the confidence in my own life that, I can do something like this. So.